Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond, How to Get Out of Babylon. I've kind of been enjoying, I've really been enjoying some of the research I've been doing. Like I said, I'm glad I'm glad Flat Earth didn't come out before I got divorced, because I probably would be dead, if they didn't release it to the general public, But whatever comes of all of it, it's a fascinating subject. I mean, I have a very, solid background in mathematics and science, and I've never in my life run across anything so complicated and yet so simple. So, anyway, this channel here, ODD Reality, he's a awesome young man, and he's like Dave Murphy, allegedly. Dave, in the sense that he's one of those people that absolutely, positively, without question, believes that the Bible is true when it describes the dome, the firmament, and earth. That the Hebrew cosmology presented in the Bible, and Bible scholars admit, the Bible teaches flat earth. Unless you're a creationist like Ken Ham and Kent Hovind and are completely dishonest with the facts. Logos Bible Software presents the fact that the Bible teaches a flat earth. They don't believe it. The people who wrote the software do not believe that the Bible is correct in the fact that the earth is flat. We've now discovered science. They're basically like Kent Hovind and Ken Ham in the sense that they believe in science. However, they're at least honest enough to say the Bible absolutely, without question, teaches a firmament, a dome, and a flat earth. So ODD Reality is one of those kids. Not a believer. I wouldn't classify him. I don't think he would classify himself as a believer, a Christian in any sense of the word. Allegedly, Dave, I don't think is that. Dave was an atheist for 40 years, and when he started studying flat earth, started to debunk it, and he's like, wow, this is what the Bible teaches. There must be a God in the heavens. Now, these people believe that God exists and that he's a creator God, et cetera, but they're not believers in, as most of us would consider them. All right, anyway, this is just a quick little video, 2 minutes, but Buzz Aldrin, this is pretty cool.
Do you want to know a secret? Do you promise not to tell? Whoa.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen, so in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going. Money is a good thing. If you want to buy new things, new rockets, instead of keep doing the same thing over, then it's going to cost more money. And other things need more money too. So having achieved what the president wanted us to do, and then what thousands, millions of people in America, and millions of people around the world. When we toured around the world after we came back, the most fascinating observation was signs that said, we did it. Not just us, not just America, but we, the world, different countries. They felt like they were part of what we were able to do. And that made us feel very good.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
Because we didn't go there, and And that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. Money.
Listen.
So anyway, so I've had some, trolling here going on, and the stuff I've been doing, talking about flat Earth. It's a big no-no. So one guy actually sent me a video saying we went to the moon, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? It's mind-boggling to me that anybody could believe that still. And I'll just show you real quick here the title is "A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon." I'm in the wrong channel. Wow, funny. So a funny thing happened on the way to the moon. There's several different versions of it, or things of it. But Bart Sibrel was a guy that went around to a lot of NASA astronauts, and asked them to put their hand on the Bible and swear that they walked on the moon. Now, Buzz actually slugged him in the face.
You can see the extruded window, probably.
So this is just a snippet of it. It's about 45 minutes, well worth watching. It's fabulous. It's actual NASA footage. This is the footage from inside the capsule that they supposedly were, John Glenn said they were 150,000 miles out. They were not beyond low Earth orbit. The Earth filled the entire portal of the capsule at about whatever they were, 200 miles up. They used construction paper to make an oval out of it, and you can actually see in the bottom here. Watch this video. The flag waving in the wind, the flag waving on the moon. Yeah, right. The massive amount of fuel they would have consumed, not just landing, but taking off. The fact that the boot, Armstrong's boot print that's on display in the museum is a completely different sole than the print that he left on the moon, supposedly. I mean, there's just so many ridiculous, stupid holes in it. Neil deGrasse Tyson's reasoning is they had that much fuel. They didn't go to the Piggly Wiggly and back. Oh, they had all this fuel, so they must have used it to go somewhere. Yeah, right. How much fuel did that little tiny... there's just so many holes in it. Look at the capsule, and where they were in the capsule, how did they get from the capsule through the engines and all the fuel to get into the lunar lander? And where's the lunar lander, the part that left on the moon? Yeah, anyway. The biggest problem with it is, really, there's the simplest, stupidest, most brain-dead thing is, and this is really simple, I can do it like this. You look at the moon, like I said, take some time and look at the moon, and you'll see that there's like a rabbit. There's a big round place, and then there's two big places that come out from it, okay? Kind of like that. Okay. That's kind of rough, but and it rolls. Look at the moon when it's coming up and take a picture of it, and it'll roll, and it goes up through the night. It's cartwheeling. And when it goes down, it's cartwheeling, and it's very simple to see. The fact of the matter is that face is always the face that faces the Earth. It's not rotating, not spinning on no axis, it's rotating like a wheel. That means that when they landed here, the Earth is always in view directly overhead. The Earth would have filled the sky. It never would have been this Earth rising, look at the Earth rise, There's just so many holes with the whole scenario, it's ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that from the moon, if you look at NASA photos of the moon, of course, Rob Skiba, look up Rob Skiba, you go to Photoshop, you set the controls, the filters, and you bring it over. They didn't know we'd have this technology. Everybody on Earth right now can download Photoshop, put on the computer, set the controls, and see that the moon is taped in. you can literally see that picture of the moon that looks kind of like that as it's rising over the horizon on the moon, Earthrise as they call it. Bullshit, complete and total, stupid, impossible bullshit that never could possibly happen. But it's going to be directly overhead. It's going to fill the entire sky directly overhead. The moon, the face of the moon is always facing the Earth. All right. Second issue is that little teeny tiny moon on the horizon there, from the Apollo being on the moon supposedly, that's from 250,000 miles away, right? Do you remember Epic Deceiver? EPC, deep space satellite? 1 million miles away. How much is 1 million compared to 250,000? 4 times farther. Okay? So now, from the Earth being a little tiny blob like this, from 250,000 miles away, but from 1 million miles away, the Earth is like 16 times larger. Case closed. NASA lies. That's all they do is lie. There's nothing that they have ever presented to you or me that's been the truth, I don't think. The only thing that they have ever sent to space is your imagination. Our imagination. That's the only thing they've ever sent to space. There is no outer space. The firmament's up there. They know it. They're just playing a game. Control of the masses. There is no God up there. So, all right, that's it. So look up A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. That's my little introduction to it. Bart Sibrel. You go to his channel, and he's got all kinds of other stuff. But he's like I said, he's the one that was the best. Well, he's the one that went around all. He tried to. You can see it. Almost every single astronaut, he tried to get them to admit that they lied, or to put their hand on the Bible and swear. And I don't think a single one of them. I don't remember that. I've looked. It's been a while since I've watched that, but I don't think any of them did it. So, all right, that's it. This is Jerry Diamond. If you listen to this, you are the remnant. But a funny thing happened on the way to the moon. There you go. Watch that. It's a good video. I wish I could get that to freeze right there, Anyway, and look up DDT Bees. Good stuff. Really, really good content. Just super good stuff. A lot of music. There you go. A lot of music. So, and there's a shout out for these guys too. So, I'll put that up there, and maybe that'll pick that up as a thumbnail. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll be able to fix up my thumbnails. Who knows? All right. See ya. Bye bye. And you poor trolls out there, some of you are intelligent enough to actually carry on a conversation, and that's cool. And I don't mind that. But the ones that are just, you can't even practically finish a sentence, and you got to use bad language, and your channel is nothing but games. Like, are you in your mommy's basement still? Are you one of those gamers that, you eat pizza and that's about all you eat, and you pick up a piece of pizza but it's the wrong piece out of the last week's box, and it's covered, and you're sitting there eating it, and it has covered with cockroaches, and you don't realize it for 20 minutes, and you suddenly realize you've eaten 15 cockroaches? You guys are not even living in reality. Watch this video here. You're the character that told me to watch your video. You watch a video about the moon. There is no wind on the moon. Sorry. Oh, and by the way, let me do this for you. A little extra here before I sign off. Just for the character Kraz or whatever the heck his name is. Somebody found a nice old clip of training. NASA training, and in it, it's talking about the capability of man with fully developed, a normal human being with, good muscles, what they would be able to do in 1/6 gravity. Well, it would stand to reason that somebody with that's in good shape in 1/6 gravity would be able to jump about 6 times as high, would it not? And so they knew this. And in the close to zero atmosphere, okay, there's no wind resistance. In other words, you know, you're not fighting wind, you're not fighting gravity. You should be able to jump about 20 feet. You know, and look at the guys today that can jump quite high, basketball players and whatever. So anyway, that's another huge factor that you know, it ain't coming up here. So look up that video. I'll find it for you and put the link on here. And I apologize for not. I just thought crossed my mind. I'm like, well, you know, that would be a really good one to throw in there. The Red Bull stuff. Oh my gosh. Another guy told me to watch Red Bull. Yeah, you see this number of screenshots there? That's just from the Red Bull thing. There are so many freaking gigantic, gaping, stupid, retarded holes in that scenario, claptrap. You know, and I don't know why. You know, if it was Hollywood, they would do a good job. That's the thing that I don't get. Why don't they just do a good job? Hire, you know, enough people to proofread. You know, it's like they're putting out third grade, you know, rated stuff and trying to sell it to people that have gone to college, for crying out loud. I mean, doggone. There it is. Okay. So here is Busting Ball Earth Nuts, Part 7. So Mr. Kazraz, whatever your name is, this is going to bust your balls. Okay. Film serial L-812. This is old training video at NASA's Langley, Virginia Research Center. Boom. This is a guy, he jumps from the ground up onto this about elevated platform that is about, I don't know, about 4 feet, 5 feet off the ground. And then from there, he's standing on that elevated platform and jumps up about 20 or 30 feet up in the air. Well, 15 or 20 feet. You can watch the video. Pressurized internal area airlock. You have never seen, and you will never see, an astronaut going into an airlock and decompressing. You see it in Hollywood. Hollywood could manage it. I don't understand that. Why? You know, you see it in Aliens with Sigourney Weaver. You know, you see it in Arnold Schwarzenegger, various movies. You know, Hollywood can fake it, and they do a good job of it. NASA has never bothered to try to fake going into an airlock. They've never shown an astronaut leaving the pressurized area, putting on the spacesuit, entering the airlock, and going into the vacuum of space in a single uncut shot. I wonder why. There's a problem of the fourth wall. You know, in other words, why have you've never seen and never will see a pan shot of a camera going 360 degrees? Because what's behind him is the bogus thing. You never have an uncut shot, a 360 degree panorama, because they can't do it. They're only focusing on what they're faking you out at, but faking you with. So anyway, you can look for old stuff like that. Film serial L38. So official claim by NASA: 1 million molecules per cubic centimeter near the lunar surface, versus at sea level. You know, that's the thing of, we're fighting a lot of air density. And I grew up in Denver, and I went up to Idaho, and it was a lot lower altitude. And I remember just going like, wow. I had my hand out the window, and I was just, I can feel it. I can feel the air. It felt like a sponge. I could actually feel it with my fingertips, my hand. I was squeezing it. After having lived in Denver my whole life, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. There's air down there. Actually is something down here, you know. So, and the moon, nothing to speak of. So, yeah, high 500-degree temperature fluctuations, and there's a range of materials used supposedly in their spacesuits that would, you know, most of them would be boiling. So, yeah, there's one of the most. Get me out of the picture there. Bam. There is a breathtaking view of the Milky Way from the surface of Mars. Okay, good night. See ya. Bye-bye.